Do you know which of your blog posts are true fan favorites? The ones that people stick around and actually read? Here's how to find your hidden gems and create more content that your readers love.
Welcome to today's training, Unlocking Growth with the Pages and Screens Report in GA4. So knowing what content truly connects with your readers is the key to strategic blog growth. While it's easy to get lost in a sea of data, I can totally relate to that. One report holds the power to tell you exactly what your audience loves. So today we're going to dive deep into the Page and Screens Report, and we're going to turn confusing metrics and numbers into a clear action plan for creating more content that is actually going to perform and give you results.
So what are you going to learn? You're going to learn the number one, because this is what we like to do, the number one mistake. The number one mistake bloggers make when analyzing their content performance. You're going to learn a step-by-step guide to finding and interpreting the GA4 Pages and Screens report. You're going to learn how to identify your top performing blog posts that drive real engagement. And you're going to learn the actionable steps to diagnose and improve underperforming content to boost your traffic.
So what are you going to walk away with? You're going to walk away with three things. Number one, a clear understanding of which content is working and why. You're going to walk away with a reputable process for making, not reputable, a repeatable.
We're struggling. We're both really struggling today.
For
repeatable process.
Repeatable. A repeatable process for making data-driven decisions about your content strategy, and the confidence to use GA4, because let's face it, even though it's been over a year since everything majorly changed in Google Analytics, we're still struggling with that sometimes, right? So you need to find growth opportunities to optimize your blog in these reports. We're going to help you with that.
So real quick, before we dig into this, text the word growth to 251-644-6701 to get your free printable. Okay. So the number one mistake bloggers make with content analysis: judging content success by views alone. Many bloggers see a post with high views and they immediately say, "Oh, it's successful. Yay." So they might rush to create more content on that topic, assuming that views equal reader interest. While views are a great starting point, they only tell you that people clicked to it. They don't tell you if people actually stayed, read, or found any type of value in what you wrote. They might tell you have a great pin or a great email list, or that you've optimized for a keyword, but you don't really solve the problem, right?
Yep. So there's more to the picture, in other words, right? So here's why this is harmful. Number one, it gives a misleading picture. A post can get thousands of views from a viral social share, but have 95% bounce rate, or a 5% engagement rate is what that would be now. So meaning almost no one actually read the content, okay? You're mistaking visibility for value, which is a problem, especially if you're trying to replicate that, because now you're just replicating more visibility and not value, okay? The next thing is you waste creative energy. So when you focus only on the views, you might create more content that attracts clicks, but doesn't build a loyal audience because they're just bouncing right off or not staying and engaging. It's going to lead to high traffic with low engagement on your blog, which is not going to give us the best money when it comes from the ad networks. And it's not going to give us the conversions on affiliate stuff or our own products, right, that we're trying to sell. So that's a bad habit.
Yeah, and both of those equal the fact that you miss your true winners. Mm-hmm. A post with fewer views but an incredibly high engagement time is a gold mine. It's a gold mine. These are the topics that your most dedicated readers love, but you overlook them if you only chase high view counts. The reality is, that's loud in my ears. The reality is that a post with 500 views and a 1 minute average engagement time is far more valuable for long-term growth than a post with 5,000 views and a 15-second engagement time.
Right. So we always like to give you examples because we know that helps. So here's your example. Imagine that you run a gardening blog and your post 10 stunning flower photos gets 10,000 views. while your detailed guide, How to Start a Vegetable Garden from Scratch, only gets 800 views. So at first glance, you're thinking, when you look at the photos, that the winner is that 10 stunning flower post. But by digging into your pages and screens report, you see that the photo post has an average engagement of only 10 seconds. Okay. While that gardening guide, people are reading for 4 minutes. So which post do you think is going to bring you the best ad money? The guide is your true winner. It's solving a problem. It's keeping people engaged. Potentially they're digging deeper into other content on your site, right? That's the real winner. That's going to garner you more money from ads and potentially bring you a more loyal reader that's going to sign up for your emails, and all of those other things will trickle from there. Okay.
So your key takeaway here is that we're looking for engagement, not just views. Right? That engagement is the true measure of content success. Your goal is to find posts that hold your reader's attention. Your big goal is to constantly increase the number of posts that hold your reader's attention. But we'll get to that at another time. Right now, we want to just simply avoid the mistake, right? So we want to master the pages and screens report so that we can find our gold mine content. You want to build a blog that people return to again and again and again. And in order to do that, you have to understand what content truly captivates them. The pages and screens report is your best tool for this job. It helps you look beyond simple views to see how users actually interact with your posts.
That's right. Okay, so you want the who, what, when, where, why? Here we're going to go over that. All right, so who uses this? A blogger who wants to know which posts their audience truly loves and which ones need improvement. Okay. What is it? The GA4 report that shows you key interaction metrics for every page on your blog. That's what this is. Okay. Where is it? In your GA4 dashboard, you need to navigate to reports and then engagement, pages and screens. Okay. When do you do this? You need to perform this content audit using this report once a month or once a quarter to guide you on your content strategy. Okay. I would say once a month. That's best in my mind. Why would you use it? So that you can stop guessing what to write next and start making data-driven decisions that are actually going to bring you results in 2025 and going into 2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do we use it? Uh-oh, it just bounced for me. I am going to screen share. Oops. I thought I had this already pulled up, but apparently I did not. I am so sorry about that. There's always this little delay when I start to screen share in StreamYard. So I like to have it already pulled up down in the green room, and then I can just bounce it up. But I did not do that today. So we're looking at Speedy Gourmet. And the reason that we like to use Speedy Gourmet is because number one, it doesn't really have any traffic. But number two, it doesn't have the reports that we teach you how to build inside of Six Figure. There's information on Six Figure down at the bottom. So we want to make sure that it basically looks like the general average public's GA4 account. So that's why we use Speedy Gourmet. So you're going to go over here to see how that popped up. If it's not already there for you, some people will have it already out. Mine is hidden. So you just hover over it. You want to go to reports. When you click on that, then it's going to pull open that little sidebar. You're actually looking for life cycle first. So open life cycle. Then you're going to open engagement and you're going to click pages and screens. You're going to see a table of your pages. Okay, right here. And here are the key metrics to really pay attention to in this confusing looking table. Let me actually have to make that a little bit smaller so you can see all of the lines. So you want to pay attention to views. Obviously, views are very important. These are your top blog posts by views. You want to pay attention to your average engagement time per active user, what we've been talking about, what we're going to teach you how to use a little bit later. And you really want to pay attention to this event count. We're going to teach you about events later on. So you want to know about it and how it relates to this top content.
All right. So you want me to give them section 2?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Up there. That's okay. So you need to identify your high performing content. Your goal is to find the posts that are clear winners with your audience. We're going to be able to see that in this report. So in the report, check mark your top 5 posts by view, and that probably defaults. Okay. Then click on the average engagement time column over there that she just showed you to sort your posts from highest to lowest. And then once you do that, we want to look at your top 10 posts. These are your content gold mines. They are the topics and formats that are truly resonating with your readers. And we know that because of this data. Okay. If it has a blue check mark on it, then it's one of the top 5. It's real gold. If it doesn't, we suggest that you increase traffic as it gets good engagement. We suggest increasing traffic as it gets good engagement. So here's an example of that.
Let me give this one. So here's an example based on what you're seeing right here on the screen, right? So we saw my top 5. They're check marked now. And look where they align. Only 4 of them are even in the top 10, right? So this one, I mean, this again, it's a terrible site. But this one, this gourmet sandwich ideas is one of my top blog posts, or one of Speedy Gourmet's top blog posts. And it's also within that top 5 of engagement. So that's a huge signal that our audience loves gourmet sandwiches. And then there's a quick marinade that was also in those top 5 original views that is also in the top 5 engagement. So quick marinades, sandwich ideas, makes sense, right? They want quick. They want it to be fancy. Marinades are fancy looking, tasting. Gourmet is fancy, but sandwiches are fast, right? So it's very obvious what they're wanting here. That's a huge signal, right? They love this.
All right. So now we're going to look at improving the underperforming content. And I think we'll get to it, but where's that 5th blue check mark? And how do we
where is it? So if we go up here, right here, let's go look at this next page. Wow, all the way down in number 12 with a whopping 25 seconds of engagement time. That, and then look, it's another sandwich. They want these sandwiches. We need to go into this post and see what its problem is so that we can increase the engagement of that sandwich, right?
Right. Okay. So now we want to diagnose and improve the underperforming content. So look for pages with a decent number of views, but a very low average engagement time. These are your click and leave posts. Okay. So do any of those check marks, those top 5 check marks, do any of those not land in that top 5? That's what we just found, right? Okay. So ask yourself why people are leaving so quickly. And it could be any of these things. Does your headline create a promise that the content doesn't deliver? So that means that you were clickbaity, right? Is the introduction boring or slow, or does it not get to the point? Is the page just a wall of text? That can be really hard for someone to read, especially if they are on mobile. Think about that. Think of people that are reading on their lunch hour, reading while they're on the bus, reading while they're commuting, reading while they're in the carpool line. They want quick information. And if it's just a sea of text, they are overwhelmed. So here is a real life example. A post that's titled 5 Easy Exercise Routines gets lots of views, but only has a 20-second engagement rate. You open the post and you realize that it is one long paragraph. People are not going to read it. That's an easy fix. You need to add some images. You need to break things up. When we were in high school, we learned that a paragraph was this many sentences. Well, in the blogging world and in the digital world, that's just not true, right? We don't want more than 4 lines of text because it overwhelms the person that's reading the content. Those are easy fixes.
And really think about that. This is something that I was thinking about the other day. You know, we're like, don't do that in the blogging world. You want it to only be about 4 lines. But handwritten or typed paragraphs, 4 or 5 sentences, is only about 4 lines.
There you go.
It's only when we put it on mobile that it becomes bigger. So we're really not changing that much. We're still keeping those sections to about 4 lines.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Okay. So let's talk
about
what
are some actionable steps to take based on this information that we found? Well, number 1, obviously, you want to double down on the winners. Yep. So for those top performing posts, those top ones, those blue check marked that are now in your top 5 for average engagement, those are the tops, right? We want to brainstorm 3 to 5 new of those. We want related post ideas. We want to dig into our search console to see how we can expand even more on these things. So like if quick meal prep ideas is a winner, we want meal prep for busy mornings, best containers for meal prepping, a chicken rotisserie. I don't know, all of the things. Then we want to make sure that we're refreshing, editing, changing, like we talked about that one that was all the way number 12. We want to refresh those underperformers. We want to take those posts that have low engagement. We want to give them a makeover. We want to break up, like Crystal said, those long paragraphs into short, scannable sentences. We want to add visuals. like images, infographics, video demonstration. We want to use bullet points and numbered lists to make information easy to skim and easy to digest. We really want to strengthen that introduction so that we're hooking our reader immediately right out the gate, telling them this is, we get your problem and we're solving it, right?
Another thing that you need to be working on is optimizing with internal links. So go to your top performing posts and add internal links, which means links from your own blog to other relevant articles on your blog. This keeps readers on your site longer. It gets them digging in deeper, right? Which increases your session time, which the advertisers are paying attention to that. Google is paying attention to that. All right. And it means that you have an engaged reader who potentially is going to sign up for your emails and all that. Add a stronger call to action on the most engaged posts. Make sure that you have a clear call to action. We say that an opt-in, for example, needs to be seen at least 1,000 times, and you'll have it up for 3 months and you're like, this opt-in isn't working. Well, it only had 5 views in that period of time. It needs 1,000 views. So those things that are your top performing views, those need to have excellent calls to action so that you'll be able to quickly see in a couple of days if it's working, because it will get those 1,000 views. Okay. So give them a good opt-in, give them a good freebie. Tell them to read other content. Are they diving into other related content? All right. You have their attention, use it.
Yeah. So your final micro habit challenge for this week, I want you to open up that GA4 pages and screens report, and I want you to spend 10, 15 minutes on this task. I want you to start by engagement time and find that number one most engaging post. Brainstorm, dig in your search console, whatever it is, one idea for a new blog post that is inspired by that winner. And then I want you to find one post with low engagement and identify one simple change that you can make to improve the engagement on that post. Pictures, breaking up paragraphs. What can you do?
Yep. And remember, your analytics, they're not just numbers, they're direct feedback from your audience. Listening to that feedback is going to be the fastest way, the most intentional, deliberate way to build your blog faster and to give people content that they can't get enough of. Okay, you've got this. In case you missed it earlier, don't forget to text the word growth to 251-644-6701. If you text that word and you don't get the opt-in or the printable, that means you've probably D&D'd us. So you need to text the word start and only the word start, wait like 10 seconds, then text the word growth and only the word growth, and then it should put you back into our cycles, okay? Now, go take one step today. Open the report. Let your data show you the way to grow faster. All right, guys, bye.